It's been 3 days since I received the email from my landlord, which dropped the bombshell on me to tell me that today I will be receiving the notice to quit the property that I live in through the front door, which is there. And it's taken me those 3 days to process it, really. I'm usually a positive person and I can usually see silver linings, and I would normally see such a thing as, okay, a fresh start, a new part of my story, a new chapter. This has happened to me quite a few times in my life. But currently, I am going through all sorts of stresses, which means that this news coming on top of them has left me having nights of wondering how I'm going to cope, basically. I turned 50 a few weeks ago. That was not a good day. And since then, I've been struggling very much with my health. I've got plantar fasciitis, which leaves me unable to walk. I've got a pain in this shoulder, which, due to commitments and stresses, I haven't been able to go to the GP about yet, but that gives me pain and discomfort. And I currently have a bad back, which, as of this morning, which isn't great, that's just piled on top of everything else. I am a carer for a family member, which means that I am unable to go out to work, which means I don't have much money at all. I do get carer's allowance, but if you claim carer's allowance, you get £333 per month, and that is immediately deducted from your other benefits. In fact, I don't know how they work it out, but they deduct more from my benefits than I receive in carer's allowance. So I'm not quite sure how they can, how they're justifying that, but I'll have to look into that at some point, probably. And I've got children. I'm a single parent. I'm alone. I don't have a partner or any support around me. And I'm exhausted because there's other personal stresses that I can't really put on YouTube, but there's a lot going on. I don't sleep at night. I haven't slept through the night for a couple of months, meaning then I sleep in the day, during the day, when children are at school. So I'm exhausted. It just makes me sort of put everything together and just feel like, can life give me a break? Like, I'm a decent person. I'm a nice person. I'm law-abiding. I've never made any, horrific mistakes or abused substances or, I've always tried to take the right path in life and to help people and to provide for my family and everything. And I just feel that life keeps on crapping on me from a great height repeatedly. And I can never get a break. I can never get a period of time when there's no drama, no pain, no mental trauma, no stresses. I know everyone has stresses in their lives, but no. Just I'd like to have a period of time where I can just trundle along in life and get on with things without major inconveniences and bombshells hitting me constantly. I mean, I'm quite happy to be single. I'm not desperate for a partner, but I guess I do miss having somebody there who could just help me through it, hold my hand through things, tell me it's going to be all right, and help and support, and just someone to talk to about it. That's why I'm talking to you. I mean, yeah, I mean, I suppose it's my fault that in my life I've made the wrong decision regarding partners, which means I haven't got one now. But like I said, I don't really miss having a partner, but I miss the support that would come with it. And then I wouldn't be so alone. I just feel that life repeatedly craps on me. And I just can't get a break. And I've found myself aged 50, broken, alone, disabled, penniless, struggling, sleepless, exhausted, perimenopausal. And on top of all of this, I now have to single-handedly, with dependents in tow, pack up a house and move it to somewhere that, well, where am I going? Where am I going? I've got no money to move. I've got nowhere to go. I don't think the council can help me. I'm going to inquire, but I don't think they can. And I mean, when I've looked on, the internet at properties that are available, they're all out of my price range. There's a couple that were just slightly off the top of my price range I inquired about, but they've already gone. Everybody is selling up, it seems, and there's no, there's a severe shortage of properties available to rent. I need to stay in the same sort of area for my children to go to their schools. I've got the issue of dependents, people I care for, having to make sure they're all okay and they are equipped mentally to deal with the move. When I'm absolutely shattered and in pain, and I'm absolutely clueless about the future and where I'm going to be, what's going to happen. I've got no savings. I've got no, income. Everywhere, presumably, is going to want to rent to people who have got a regular income. That's my experience in the past. For some reason, every few years, for one reason or another, I'm having to move house. And I often see it as like it's exciting. Oh well, never mind, there's going to be, new adventures to come. But this has just hit me at a time when I'm not physically or mentally in the right place to be moving and trying, packing up a whole house and moving and unpacking a whole house. And how am I going to do that? I can't even walk. I can walk a bit, but after a short amount of time of walking, I'm in severe pain. And I don't get sleep. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. And then, as I said, it makes me think about my whole life, about how I just keep striving to get somewhere decent, to get to a place where there isn't drama and there aren't problems, so I can just exist in peace. And I don't seem to be able to get there. And last night I was laying in bed feeling like it's all getting on top of me. Like, I don't think I can cope with much more. Because the thing is, I've been having stresses for quite a long time. And the way I deal with those stresses is I look for something positive to focus on, to keep my mind occupied. And lately, the thing that's kept my mind occupied has been right, I'm going to, let's get the house organised and let's get the garden going. I just started to think about, you know, can I get the garden nice for the summer? Let's start growing some plants. I just started to start thinking about that. And, I'd lay in bed at night when I'm wanting to go to sleep and just be planning the garden. I was thinking I need to map, where the sun shines so I can work out what plants are going where and organising the house. And I can't do that now because I'm not going to be here. My mind goes to these things I was starting to plan, and I have to shut it down. I just think, no, you can't think about that now, Emma. That's finished. That's not going to happen. That's done. There's no point doing the garden now. And the thing is, when I moved into this house, I knew there were some problems with it, but I was told by the letting agent they would be sorted. Excuse me, they would be sorted. And I've spent nearly 3 years bombarding the letting agent with, please can this mould be sorted out? Please can this leak be sorted out? The tiles are falling off the bathroom walls. The bath moves. The kitchen cupboards are becoming unusable. There's damp everywhere. This is broken. That's broken. Please can these things be fixed? It's becoming dangerous. There's slugs coming in. Now there's rats coming in. And I've been going round with a paintbrush, fixing bits up, just patching it up to make it livable. This wall here, it was covered in mould and damp. Painted over it to make it as presentable and safe as possible. I filled in cracks. And while I've been doing that, I've been saying, can we please have it fixed? The gutter's leaking. Can we have that fixed? Because basically you go outside the front door and it's like a waterfall coming down top of you when it's raining. The bath panel on the side of the bath, it cracked and fell off. Can we please have a new one? The tiles are falling off while I'm laying in the bath. Can somebody come and do this? Then finally, well, I don't know what the truth was, to be honest. The letting agent said that because my landlord wouldn't fix anything, they've let them go. My landlord said because the letting agent weren't communicating with them, they've let them go. So I don't know what the truth was. But my landlord now is saying, I need to fix these problems and I can't with people living there, so you're going to have to go. Don't know whether that's the truth or not. And the thing is, one of my children said, well, why did you moan about the problems? Why did you keep on at them about the problems? And I said, well, because you can't live in a house where you can't use most of the kitchen cupboards due to damp and mould, where you're laying in the bath and tiles are falling on you, where the bath rocks when you get into it. It's not safe, I could have shut up and put up, but that's not, it's not safe. But now I'm in a position where I'm thinking, well, maybe I should have, because now I'm going to be homeless, and I've got nowhere to go. I can't afford to move, and I've got all these other stresses and things going on, mentally, physically, stress, pain, difficulties, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do.